This is Tush, and I welcome you to Tushalicious Talk, an Oklahoma City podcast for titillating women, tantalizing conversation. And I thank you in advance for allowing me to be your one-stop shop advocacy connection. Hello again. This is Tush, and welcome to another episode of Tushalicious Talk. Today we are talking about National Voter Registration Day 2023. Yay! And I have Stephanie again, who is from the League of Women Voters of Oklahoma, but she's also a League of Women Voters Oklahoma County member. And then Serina from Almonte Library, the librarian out there. And then David Pilchman, my bodyguard and co-president. Thank you guys for coming. And I want to open it by saying, so National Voter Registration Day, what does that mean as far as the League of Women Voters go, Stephanie?
Gosh, for the League of Women Voters, thank you for asking. That is our two priorities with the League. Our mission statement is to empower voters and to strengthen democracy. And so it means it is our core mission, to make it easier for folks to get out and raise their voice through the vote and at the ballot box and express, what kind of a world do we want to live in? What kind of a community do we want to have? Those are the kinds of things that you can express when you go to the ballot box to vote. You're really, and so did you want me to go into some of the things you'd kind of asked me about?
Yeah, we were talking about the Freedom to Vote Act, which is X'd out, we'll say, for right now. But the League of the Women Voters of the United States still pushes for the bullet point. So
things that would make it easier for voters to vote. Yes, and we were kind of talking before we all went on air about what some of those things are that were have been featured in that Freedom to Vote Act and all the things that the League of Women Voters would like to see happen at the federal level if we could ever pass. That was in 2019 that they first were trying to pass some of that legislation, things that would make it easier to vote, included everything from, same-day voter registration, which some states have. We don't have in Oklahoma. Online voter registration, which we just passed in Oklahoma. So that's been huge, that we have that. There are some states that have your ballot mailed to you, so it's the idea that you can't easily forget when you're receiving your ballot in the mail. You can't easily forget to vote when you receive a ballot in the mail. A self-addressed stamped envelope, how notaries or, whether or not notaries that's been something that we've looked at in our state, how we do absentee voting is something that we look at.
I think that it's important to point out that even though we do have online voter registration now, it is not the same thing as same-day voter registration. So even if you register online, you can't go to your precinct and pull out your phone and register online and then go in there and vote. That's not the way that it works. You still have to do it by the time the deadline is for whatever upcoming election is. So you were saying that your friend in
Nevada. Nevada's a state that has same-day voter registration. And so the story I had told before we came on the air was that, so it would have been the presidential election 2020, and my daughter's boyfriend, who's from Nevada, he's here and works at he's with the Air Force, and but his sister is in Las Vegas, and we were all, of course, voting here. It's always an exciting day to vote in a presidential election, and he had called his family, just again giving those heads up and reminders to friends and family. Hey, see you at the ballot box, see you at the polls. And she said, I didn't register. And we said, hey, Nevada's a same day voter registration kind of place. You can go and register and vote on that same day. And we said, that's so lovely because you and I've talked a lot about all the things that sometimes will prevent someone from going and voting. And sometimes it's just that wasn't a priority. You didn't have it marked on your calendar. The day sneaks up. You'd meant to register to vote. You'd wanted to vote in that election, but then you realize, oh, gee whiz, I'm out of luck. I didn't register. So a state like Nevada, she was able to go that day and register that day and cast her vote. And that was a very lovely feeling. She was thrilled, So that's really recognizing
that life be lifing.
Yeah, just kind of seeing people, meeting people where they are. Yes, yeah, it is that. And I think that really does help get out the vote. Yeah, when you recognize that.
Yeah. Awesome. So we will definitely be focusing on same-day voter registration and a lot of other things. You can always Google League of Women Voters of the United States, and they will tell you there's a million statements everywhere that tells you all of the priorities that we push for as far as voting rights are concerned. But I will move to Serina from Almonte, and how long have we been meeting now?
We met, we've been in contact. I would say we've been in contact because I don't know if we actually met at the registration drive last year.
I think we did.
Okay.
So did we? So voter registration day is a year for you.
Last year, yes. So that is our year
because I ended up going to 3 different libraries before I came to Almonte. So I was like super, super late. But I was there.
You were there. Yes. But I worked with your volunteers too. And so they were all wonderful and lovely. But it's been a year since we have built this relationship and collaboration in the community. And so I just want to say thank you.
I love it. Thank you too.
Thank you for that. I do, civic engagement is one of our system-wide outcomes. And so it is definitely one I'm grateful. It happens to be one of my passions as a librarian as well. And so we're really about information and making sure that everybody has accurate information on whether or not they can vote, same day or not, and having those deadlines for registration and things. And so, I'm really excited about the programs we have planned. We have one that is called the bakery ballot box. And so that's kind of like it's an in-person, and you can even participate online if you're not able to come in person. But we have this display. It's one of our passive programs. It's a display of, favorite bakery treats. And so we have a primary time period. And then based off of those primaries, we're going to have a general election. And anyone who votes in the general election in person will receive a prize. And so we're really, me and Chish were talking about that today and how we're even thinking about next year already. Yes. And so how we want to expand the idea of teaching people about voting by using our favorite desserts.
Mm-hmm. The voting process.
The voting process.
How it actually works. Yeah.
Yes. And how it works. And so excited about that one, but even more excited about our League of Women Voters education and registration drive day. And so, happening on September 19th from 1 to 4. And so, that'll be at our location at Trinity on September 19th at 5701 South May. But the downtown library is also doing some voter registration kits. And so from September 18th through the 25th, so if you want to grab a kit that has more resources in it as well. It is Library Card Sign-Up Month. So what greater resource than your library card? But when you head over to metrolibrary.org, we do have a voter resources tab right on the front. You just scroll down a little bit from the main page, and it has all of the information, all the events that are surrounded around voter registration day, and anything that you may need. So
awesome. One thing about library cards, of course, the Libby app is free. Like, I'm a very big advocate of the Libby app. I've found, and I can't remember what it's called right now, but there is also a new TV app that has free documentaries on there if you put your library card number in there. And you get 7 free documentaries every month. And I'm going to figure out what it is, and I'll put it in the comment section, or on Spotify, I'll put it in the link information. But you get 7 free documents with any library card. And so I've watched a couple, but I just always think that it's so amazing what a library card gives you access to as far as knowledge goes, because there were some really good documentaries on there that I found. So yeah,
it really does. We have databases, and you can link to our online publications like Oklahoman. The Oklahoman Online, we have that available in person too. But or maybe it's the New York Times. I'm getting mixed up. I remember the last time I was on this podcast and we were talking about if you can use the timer and Beanstack with your Libby app, like if you go back to your Libby app, and I found that you can switch between apps. So, because I just want to make sure I'm giving all the actual information.
Well, and even because this relates to the partnership with the Metropolitan Library System and the League too, was even without needing a library card, when we hosted council, when LWVOKC hosted the LWVOK Council, we were kind of thinking, what would be a fun thing to do in Oklahoma City the night before our council meeting. And because we found ourselves with doing dinner down in the Deep Deuce area, and we were thinking, what's a really cool thing to highlight about Oklahoma City? And we thought, gee whiz, Ralph Ellison is from Oklahoma City, and he was born right down there in the Deep Deuce area. And of course, lived the first many years of his life in Deep Deuce area. And you can go on the Metropolitan Library site and get a self-guided tour. It's the Clio, I think is what it is. You go on that Clio. You don't even need the library app to do that. Any Oklahoman can just go online and go Metropolitan Library System, Ralph Ellison tour, and you can take an amazing self-guided tour complete with pictures and stories of Ralph Ellison and his life in Oklahoma City during that era, the Avery Chapel AME, which is part of our coalition of in National Voter Registration Day coalition, includes Avery Chapel AME folks and Ruth Rolfe. And so, there's all so interrelated, the Metropolitan Library System, sweet Ruth Rolfe, who's been on this podcast before. But do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate so much all of the work that we all do together. It just really is so meaningful to be able to work with you all, and that you had that available to those of us who are coming from all over. We had our LWVUS liaison, Sonia Irwin, who lives in Chicago, had never been to Oklahoma before. And so when she came and we were able to show her this, Ralph Ellison's Oklahoma City, we did the walking tour. We ended up at the Black Walnut, where the chef just recently, that was right before he won the James Beard Award. And I really tip my hat to the Metropolitan Library System for being a guide in Oklahoma City and being able to show off Oklahoma City. And well, like you say, Jackie, all the things that we can learn with our library card and a good library resource.
Yeah, there's a lot. I even tell people, you can take your kids to the one on 122nd, and there's like a little play area inside and outside, so your kids are safe. You can sit there and get some work done or whatnot, and your kids are safe right there playing. There's 2 whole different play sections, like playgrounds. You know how McDonald's used to have the playgrounds, and like they really don't have them anymore. So you can do that at the library now. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, all the libraries are amazing now. They've all gone through transition now, or is Almonte like the capstone, or are there more?
Well, Almonte is the newest location to the system.
Okay, great.
And so we just celebrated our 10th birthday. It was this year. It was at the beginning of this year, February. It's been a very interesting year. It's gone by so fast. But yes, we celebrated our 10th birthday this year. And so we are just to the near completion of our building, being complete. So for our building, that will be at 2727 Southwest 59th Street. So we're all really excited about that. Trinity Lutheran Church at 5701 South May. I don't know if I got that out earlier. But they hosted us for like 2 days a week throughout the summer. And so we are now expanding our services there from Monday through Friday, where guests can pick up their holds, pick up their take-home kits. They've really been we talk about relationships, that we get to work together, and how all of these collaborations are really meaningful. And so we're all really grateful to Trinity for hosting us, so we can have our guests come and pick up, their holds. And it's really, our guests have really seen a positive impact in that. So, but we are just one of 19 locations. And all of the locations are regularly being updated. Each new year will bring different projects and things. So but because there is an Edmond 2 in the works as well. So
Awesome.
That's so great.
yes. And I even, one of the guests came to our last gardening program, and I know anyway, so our last gardening program, and she's from Edmond, and I was telling her about the location, and she was like, that's a mile from my house. And she was so excited, and we're so excited because the library is awesome. Yes.
And free.
And free. And, you can even sign up for a library card online now, and you'll be able to use it immediately. So keep that in mind whenever you are looking for something free to do.
Mm-hmm.
We do have 19 locations, and you can visit all of us.
So I have a question there. I'm not sure that any of us can answer it, but we have been meeting, and when I say we, Taz is the head of this. So Oklahoma Policy Institute has put together a series of meetings leading up to National Voter Registration Day with all coalition partners. And so I know Andy Moore was saying that he was working with the library as well for these voter registration kits. And so we had read a little bit about the voter registration kits, and I apologize if I'm putting people on blast that don't know the answer, but does anybody know exactly how these kits are going to work? Because I saw it on the Metropolitan Library website. Or do you pick them up at any of the 19 locations, or is there one location?
Oh, that kit is only available at the downtown library.
Okay.
And so I just received word what is in the kit. And it looks like you will receive an Oklahoma election calendar, a brochure on absentee voting, a brochure on legal rights, disability services for voting, an Oklahoma registration application, an application for absentee ballot, and an envelope and stamp to mail them in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And
that's
that
awesome.
may be different than what I know, because I know Andy's it includes, like, for $25, the monies would go back to Let's Fix This. And so his is different, I think, because his, I think, include clipboards and some of the materials that
they're
you
like,
would use.
it's like a canvassing tote of
Yes.
supplies that you would need to get people registered to vote.
Okay.
Right. So it's
his
slightly
is more
different.
for a head of an organization, whereas this one is more for individuals, the one from the library.
Individuals. And, as we're talking about absentee ballot and voting, notary services is a new thing that the library has also been offering. And so,
Cool.
We have seen
Since when?
the last couple of years.
Oh, wow.
I want to say maybe it has just been a year. It's been very recent, within the last year.
That's great news, though.
So,
At 19 locations for your absentee ballot, get somebody to sign up for you up there?
yes, there are a few stipulations on it. So we have at least 2 at each location. For the 19 locations, that includes our rural, smaller locations like Hera, Jones.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure about availability at those locations, but at all of the more other corners of the county, all the other county libraries, because Choctaw primarily works. So I would say that notary at Choctaw, and they may have one at each of those 2. That was our goal, but I'm not sure.
Well, that's something for us to research. That sounds great.
Yes.
Because sometimes people are like, where do I get people to sign this absentee ballot form for me? And it's at every library, possibly.
Yes. So at least at 16 locations,
Mhm.
I would say. And it is based on their work schedule. So if you want to give our phone number a call, 405-231-8650, then they can make sure that they reach out to, or even each library location, make sure they reach out to each library and see if there's one available. So that way you don't make the trip without, getting what you need. And it really is on, but yes, absentee ballots are definitely something that we have notarized. So,
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. That's very convenient and very commonsensical. So I am going to ask David here. He is my very trusty, very reliable co-president. And I don't know what I would do without him. Because I do stuff like choose to go to Oakland instead of meetings. So
hey, Oakland sounded dope. It sounded fun out there.
I loved it. But since you have been to the TAS's meetings for the coalition, can you kind of inform us of some of the other partners that are included in the coalition and some of the other things that are going to occur on National Voter Registration Day?
Yeah. So this has been just a gathering of all the people, of all the organizations in the area who are all practically doing the same thing for Voter Registration Day. We just want to make sure that we all are using each other as resources to make sure that there are enough volunteers and that there are people, and we're going to several locations. So the League of Women Voters, Oklahoma and Oklahoma County have several things going on throughout the area. It looks like Tulsa Community College is going to be hosting something up there. UCO will be having voter registration hours. I know LWVOKC here in the metro, they're wanting it to be an all-day party. You can go there from 10 to 5 p.m. and get free food and hang out. There will be music and dancing. Oh, and don't forget to register to vote. And a lot of these partners, and Stephanie might be able to answer to the titles of all of them. There are so many people. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't know that we were all doing all of this together. But I know it's Together Oklahoma with Oklahoma Policy Institute. Let's Fix This is a part of the coalition.
We Are Rising, right?
We Are Rising, I heard today, was on the coalition. There were people out at, oh my gosh. All I can say is that we're everywhere this year, and that we all know.
Voice was new today too. We have Voice there, and CARE was there today.
Okay. And what we can have for the public is we've Andy Moore of Let's Fix This started OklahomaVotes.org, so it's okvotes.org. And you can see a list or a calendar of all of the events that people are doing. And it's not just for the 19th, but for throughout the months moving forward. We all want to be a little bit more engaged in what everybody's doing. So we can reach out to more people that way and be like, oh, you're in this area, go here. It's just a really exciting moment to see all of us coming together for this one particular day of National Voter Registration Day, but trying to make it a more regular occurrence in our life.
Yeah.
So that it's not just one day a year, but it's almost every week or every day.
That's right. So yeah, when we are at Almonte, and I'm going to tap in there. Yes, come to Voter Registration Day at Almonte. Don't go to the other places. Come to Almonte. No, I'm just playing.
Or go to all of them. Start at Almonte.
Go to all of them. I mean, I was just thinking, well, if that OSU one is at 10 o'clock, starts at 10, well, I can still make it to my event. I can stop by.
I'm going to focus on voter education instead of voter registration, because there are so many places where you can get registered. So just hoping to provide information on how to stay current on what events are coming up, what voting is, what ballots are coming up, and so forth. How to go to the county election website, where you need to click at in the newsroom, things like that, and have it all in one spot. And I will have a tiny URL created by that time, which will make it easier for people to pay attention and educate themselves. Because we all don't have the political science degrees, and it's so hard to pay attention to it all. So, that's what I'm going to focus on. So if you come out there to Almonte with us, we will be talking about education, voter education, and we will
we
have...
need to be specific today.
Well, you could also vote in our local general election for your favorite bakery treat, because the first 30 participants.
That's right. I was just about to say that. Come get some treats too. We will have treats there as well. So find a place to go for National Voter Registration Day, and vote. And I think that's about all we have for today. And thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Tushalicious Talk is part of the Breaking Ice, Building Bridges community podcast platform, brought to you by Possibilities, Inc.